These vases display just astonishing aspects of precision and engineering. So this is an example of just how thin this material is. So it's igneous stone, this might be porphyry or something like this.
When scientists used advanced AI to digitally reconstruct a set of shattered Egyptian vases, they expected to see ordinary artifacts from the past. But what the AI uncovered left them speechless. The patterns, symbols, and shapes it revealed didn't match anything known in Egyptian history.
Vase that is pre-dynastic. This is a picture of the vase here that they found in a private collection.
In fact, they seem to tell an entirely different story. Some experts now believe these vases could hold secrets about lost rituals or even forgotten civilizations. What began as a routine reconstruction project quickly turned into one of the most shocking archaeological revelations of the decade. Join us in this video as we reveal this discovery. The discovery that shocked scientists. After more than a century of study and debate, the mystery surrounding a set of ancient Egyptian vases reached a stunning climax. The turning point came when modern scientists turned to artificial intelligence, not just to restore their physical form, but to uncover what lay hidden within their design. Using cutting-edge algorithms, the system carefully scanned the vases' elegant curves, measured their ratios, and mapped every geometric contour with microscopic precision, detail far beyond what the human eye could ever achieve. The results were nothing short of astonishing. These were not simple ceremonial objects, nor were they random creations of artistic inspiration. Instead, the AI's reconstruction suggested that they were products of advanced knowledge, evidence of a technological and mathematical mastery that seemed to exist long before recorded history claimed it should. For centuries, experts had dismissed the vases as symbolic artifacts, relics of ritual or culture. But under the digital microscope, a different picture emerged. Their design carried traces of complex geometry, almost as if their creators understood principles of computation and engineering thought to be modern inventions. If true, this revelation would rewrite the story of human progress. It hinted at civilizations more sophisticated than we've ever imagined, cultures that may have reached astonishing heights of innovation before being lost to catastrophe, conquest, or the relentless decay of time. The notion was unsettling, yet deeply poetic, that history is not a straight line from ignorance to enlightenment, but a repeating cycle of rise, brilliance, and decline. The vases, once silent, now seem to whisper of an age when art, mathematics, and philosophy were one and the same, a forgotten chapter of human genius rediscovered through modern eyes. Today, as scientists and historians continue to study them, one truth resonates louder than ever. The past was never truly silent. It has always spoken through stone, through geometry, and through the mysteries we were once too blind to see. Now, at last, humanity is listening. What if this stunning discovery hinted at technology far beyond history? Keep watching to find out. The lost technology behind Egypt's most mysterious vase. In a laboratory filled with quiet anticipation, a team of scientists began an experiment that would change how the world viewed ancient artifacts forever. Their subject wasn't just another museum piece. It was a privately owned pre-dynastic rose granite vase, an object that, while modest in appearance, had long puzzled collectors and historians with its seemingly impossible precision. Using structured light scanning, a cutting-edge technology capable of reading an object's surface with astonishing accuracy, the team captured every curve, ridge, and contour of the vase. The resolution was extraordinary, less than half the width of a human hair. This wasn't just a digital image, it was a complete three-dimensional twin. A perfect virtual replica exposed every hidden detail, every imperceptible nuance of its ancient design. Once the scanning was complete, the data was handed to a group of metrologists, the experts in precision measurement, whose skills ensure that turbine blades in jet engines are crafted with near-perfect tolerances. If anyone could determine the true nature of this vase, it was them. They brought in their coordinate measuring systems, instruments so advanced that even 1/1000th of an inch could spell the difference between perfection and failure. At first, expectations were humble. Surely, they thought, the ancient vase would reveal the telltale signs of primitive craftsmanship, tool marks, uneven symmetry, and minor flaws that spoke of human hands working with simple tools. But as the data began to pour in, the room fell silent. The lip of the vase, just a delicate ridge at its opening, was almost perfectly flat, deviating by only 0.003 inches. To put that in perspective, even modern industrial machinery would struggle to achieve such precision. Then came the alignment tests. The cylindrical neck lined up with the lip's flat surface within 0.0001 inches, a level of accuracy so extreme that even aerospace engineers would find it difficult to match, especially in a material as unforgiving as granite. The body of the vase was next. The curvature was nearly flawless, its spherical form deviating less than the thickness of a single sheet of paper. What they were seeing wasn't mere craftsmanship, it was engineering. The vase displayed hallmarks of industrial manufacture, the kind of perfection expected only from computer-guided tools, lasers, or diamond-tipped cutters. To think that such precision could be achieved thousands of years ago, using nothing but stones and copper chisels, as mainstream archaeology has long claimed, now seemed absurd. Even modern CNC machines, marvels of technology, would struggle to carve granite with such microscopic accuracy. But the most baffling revelation came when they analyzed the lug handles, the small protrusions on the sides of the vase. For generations, experts had argued that while ancient artisans might have been able to create symmetrical vases using primitive lathes, the addition of handles would destroy that balance. A lathe requires perfect rotation, and any appendage would disrupt the process entirely. Even modern machinists acknowledged the challenge of adding side features without sacrificing precision. And yet, this vase defied all logic. Between the handles, the same perfect symmetry persisted, unbroken, seamless, immaculate, every measurement aligned flawlessly. The artifact seemed to mock the limits of what was supposed to be possible in the ancient world. In that moment, the scientists realized they were staring at a paradox, one that offered only two possible explanations, both astonishing. The first was that the vase's creators possessed a tool-changing and alignment system more advanced than anything modern aerospace engineers could design. The second, even more shocking, was that the vase had been carved in a single, uninterrupted process, similar to a 5-axis computer-controlled milling machine, technology that shouldn't have existed thousands of years ago. Either conclusion led to the same haunting realization. This was not the work of primitive hands. It was the product of advanced machine technology, evidence of a lost knowledge, a forgotten mastery that has no place in the accepted timeline of human civilization. Could the vase's flawless design conceal a secret mathematical code? Stay tuned to find out. The hidden code within the stone. As word of the astonishing findings spread, a new wave of experts reportedly joined the investigation. Among them were cryptographers and mathematicians drawn by the vase's mysterious geometry and its unnerving precision. If this artifact had truly been engineered, rather than handcrafted, they reasoned, then perhaps its design carried more than beauty. It might conceal mathematical messages, fingerprints of an intelligence far ahead of its time. Using advanced artificial intelligence algorithms, the team set out to decode the vase's geometry. They combed through the digital scans, searching for recurring ratios, hidden symmetries, and patterns invisible to the naked eye. What the AI uncovered defied expectation. Within the curves and proportions of the vase lay the unmistakable marks of sacred geometry, ancient mathematical principles that seemed to echo across nature itself. The golden ratio, that mysterious constant found in seashells, DNA spirals, and even the arms of galaxies, appeared repeatedly in the vase's proportions. The mathematical value of pi, essential to our understanding of circles and motion, was subtly woven into its curvature. Even the smallest angles and arcs followed what appeared to be radiant-based algorithms, suggesting deliberate mathematical planning at a level no pre-dynastic culture was ever thought to possess. At microscopic levels, the mystery deepened. Tiny curves, with radii just over a millimeter, matched exact mathematical formulas. Such precision was no accident, it was design. The evidence pointed to something extraordinary. The vase had first been conceived as a mathematical model, an idea born from calculation and geometry, long before a tool ever touched the granite. This revelation changed everything. These vases were no longer seen as simple ceremonial relics or utilitarian containers. They were knowledge vessels, artifacts that fused art, science, and philosophy into one perfect form. They represented not only the skill of ancient artisans, but the intellectual reach of a civilization that understood the mathematics of the cosmos itself. The implications rippled far beyond archaeology. If such sophistication existed thousands of years before the known dawn of advanced civilization, then our understanding of history was built on sand. The vase was no longer just a piece of carved stone. It was a message in code, a whisper from an age when art and science were one, a reminder that human knowledge might stretch back far deeper and shine far brighter than we have ever dared to imagine. But what if uncovering that code required a machine that sees time? Let's find out. The machine that sees time. AI's quiet revolution in archaeology. AI's role in archaeology began quietly, almost humbly, with software built to recognize patterns in broken pottery shards scattered across European excavation sites. What started as an experimental tool soon evolved into something far greater. Machine learning began identifying fragment matches faster than entire museum teams could manage. Neural networks learned to classify materials just by analyzing microscopic textures and images. Before long, the technology had crossed continents, finding its way into the hands of Egyptologists eager to unlock the secrets buried beneath the desert sands. At its core, artificial intelligence is a pattern-seeking mind. It learns through examples, much like humans do, but at scales and speeds far beyond human capacity. It can examine thousands of vase fragments in moments, identify the subtle curve of a rim, or trace the angle of a handle, and then predict how those pieces once fit together, even when much of the artifact is missing. But the real magic lies in data fusion, the way AI absorbs every kind of information scientists can offer. Researchers feed it 3D scans, X-ray images, spectroscopy data, and even microscopic photos of clay grains. The AI digests it all, searching for patterns hidden in plain sight. It finds consistencies that no human eye could detect. The same mineral fingerprints linking two distant dig sites, the same rhythmic patterns repeated in decorations across dynasties, or the same geometric proportions reappearing in artifacts separated by centuries. With every discovery, the past grows clearer. Forgotten connections resurface. Unknown origins become traceable. AI doesn't replace human intuition, it amplifies it, giving archaeologists something akin to a second sight, a lens that can cut through the noise of time. This union between ancient relics and modern code is more than a technological leap. It's a revolution. It's transforming the way we read history, showing us that even the silent fragments of the past can still tell their stories if we have the right tools to listen. And once AI learned to see through time, what could it rebuild? Keep watching to find out. From fragments to wholeness, how AI recreates the art of ancient Egypt. The sands of Egypt have safeguarded countless vase fragments, scattered and incomplete, their stories buried for millennia. For archaeologists, piecing them together was once like trying to complete a puzzle with half the pieces missing and no picture to guide them. But with the rise of artificial intelligence, that puzzle finally began to take shape. AI-driven reconstruction models now scan thousands of fragments in record time. They study every curve, every fracture line, every grain of texture under magnification. The machine recognizes what human eyes overlook: two shards with nearly identical curvature, or pigment traces along an edge that align perfectly with another fragment miles away. What once took months or even years of manual comparison can now be achieved in hours. In the case of Egyptian vases, the results have been nothing short of revolutionary. AI systems have digitally reunited pieces long separated by geography and history. A fragment in the British Museum might now virtually connect to one in Cairo or Berlin, completing designs unseen for thousands of years. When these digital pieces lock together, something extraordinary happens. Artistic and cultural meaning re-emerges. Scenes once broken beyond recognition, mythological figures, royal emblems, ritual patterns, suddenly come back to life, revealing the visual language of ancient Egypt with stunning clarity. But AI's precision doesn't stop at reassembly. It goes further, predicting missing shapes where fragments no longer exist. By studying stylistic patterns from thousands of similar vases, it can digitally fill in gaps with remarkable accuracy, showing scholars what a complete artifact might have looked like long before any physical restoration begins. The result feels like time travel through technology. Through AI's lens, the past is no longer fragmented or faded. It is being reborn, piece by piece, in breathtaking digital form. But among all the reconstructed relics, one sealed vase stood apart. Why? Let's find out. The alabaster time capsule. Amid the vast treasures scattered across Egypt's sprawling archaeological archives, one discovery has quietly captivated the world: a sealed alabaster vase unearthed near Saqqara. It wasn't adorned with gold, nor inscribed with hieroglyphs. Yet what rested within its pale stone walls would become the centerpiece of one of the most remarkable scientific studies ever undertaken with artificial intelligence. Carved from translucent alabaster, its smooth body glowed with a faint ivory sheen, unblemished by time. Unlike the ornate jars that once accompanied pharaohs into their tombs, this vase stood apart for one extraordinary reason: it remained completely sealed, untouched since the day an ancient craftsman pressed its lid into place more than 3,000 years ago. That moment of preservation turned it into a time capsule, a silent message sent across millennia, waiting for modern science to listen. At first glance, the vase appeared deceptively simple, elegant but unassuming. Its surface was smooth, symmetrical, and devoid of elaborate decoration. Yet along its slender neck, faint tool marks hinted at an astonishing level of craftsmanship, evidence of precision engineering, not mere artistry. Scholars speculated it may have once belonged to an elite household, used to store sacred oils or rare medicinal mixtures prepared for religious rites. The choice of alabaster was telling. Prized for its ability to keep contents cool and uncontaminated, it suggested that whatever lay inside was meant to be preserved with utmost care. When researchers at the Egyptian Museum of Civilization decided to study the vase, they faced a challenge. Traditional archaeology would have required breaking it open, scraping residue, or dissolving traces of material, all methods that risked destroying priceless evidence. So they turned to AI-assisted spectral analysis, a non-invasive imaging technique that could identify organic compounds using high-frequency scanning and pattern learning. The artificial intelligence model, trained on thousands of chemical fingerprints, began to decode the vase's secrets without ever disturbing it. It was as though the machine could see through stone, reading its contents, one wavelength at a time. What the data revealed left the team speechless. Inside the sealed chamber were complex traces of plant resins, honey, and animal fats, blended in a ratio unlike anything previously documented. The AI also detected faint molecular signatures of frankincense and myrrh, luxury materials imported from the lands of Punt and the Arabian Peninsula. But there was more. Hidden among the chemical traces was a molecular pattern resembling that of modern antiseptics and embalming oils. This discovery transformed the vase's purpose. It wasn't just a container for ritual perfume. It was evidence of experimental chemistry, perhaps an early attempt at developing the preservation formulas that would later define Egyptian mummification. The alabaster vessel, sealed and silent, had preserved the first echoes of a science of eternity. But the revelations didn't stop there. AI analysis also uncovered microscopic pollen grains embedded in the residue, tiny clues to the environment where the mixture was prepared. Some of these pollen types came from plants not native to the Nile Valley, suggesting they were imported through ancient trade routes stretching deep into Africa and across the Near East. This single discovery painted a breathtaking picture, a civilization not only skilled in chemistry and craftsmanship, but also deeply connected to distant lands through networks of commerce and knowledge. When the findings were published, the alabaster vase became an icon, a symbol of how AI could revolutionize archaeology without disturbing a single grain of dust. From its sealed core, scientists had reconstructed an ancient recipe, traced forgotten trade paths, and even glimpsed the world of artisans who had vanished thousands of years ago. It was a reminder that the past isn't always hidden in grand tombs or monumental statues. Sometimes it lies quietly preserved in something as fragile as a sealed jar of stone. Through that delicate vessel, AI gave voice to hands long turned to dust, and in doing so, reminded the world that history's greatest stories often begin in the smallest of spaces. But where exactly did this mysterious alabaster vase come from? Stay tuned to find out. Saqqara, the timeless home of Egypt's hidden masterpieces. Nestled about 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo lies Saqqara, a vast ancient burial ground that once served as the necropolis for Memphis, Egypt's first capital. Stretching over 7 kilometers, this sacred site holds the remains of kings, nobles, and artisans who shaped Egypt's early civilization. At its heart stands the Pyramid of Djoser, the world's oldest complete stone structure, built during the 3rd dynasty. Surrounding it are dozens of smaller pyramids, mastaba tombs, and underground chambers that preserved Egypt's royal legacy for over 3,000 years. It was within these ancient sands that archaeologists unearthed thousands of hard stone vases, some dating back more than 6,000 years. Many were discovered in the Step Pyramid complex and nearby tombs, where they had been buried as ritual offerings to the gods or possessions for the afterlife. Crafted from granite, quartz, and diorite, their precision continues to baffle experts even today. Saqqara forms part of the larger Memphite necropolis, alongside the pyramid fields of Giza, Abusir, and Dashur, all recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It remains not just a cemetery of kings, but a silent museum preserving the secrets of Egypt's lost craftsmanship. So, what do you think about these relics that were reconstructed by AI? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.